Hello, welcome to Aviation 101 with Laura. Today we are going to use the metal E6B to do some fuel calculations for large aircraft that you might find for aircraft dispatcher knowledge exam. So let's get started. So here's how we can use this E6B metal flight computer to figure out a fuel burn for a given amount of time. Okay, I'm going to be using large aircraft numbers geared toward aircraft dispatch type questions. Notice I have a rate pointer right here. It says 60 and it also says rate and has a little pointer. So let's assume that the aircraft, I'm just going to throw out a number similar to the 737 that we use in dispatch class. Let's just pretend it is burning 6,000 pounds per hour. Let's keep it really simple. So that is something that is happening per hour. So that would be where I set my rate pointer. 6,000 pounds an hour. Okay, I'm going to keep this first example very simple. Let's say that we fly for 90 minutes at 6,000 pounds per hour. How much fuel would I burn? Okay, in order to do that, I've set my rate pointer at 60. And then on the inner scale, I look for the time. And so 90 minutes would be right here. An hour and a half, they translate it for you below, and then you can read that I would then burn 90 pounds of fuel. Now you have to say to yourself, well, I didn't burn 90 pounds of fuel. That's ridiculous. No, I have to think about this and add zeros as necessary. So if I'm burning 6,000 pounds every hour, 9,000 pounds would be how much I would burn if I flew for 1 hour and 30 minutes or 90 minutes. All right, so let's do another more complicated example slightly. Let's say I was burning 5,200 pounds per hour. Okay, so here is 5,000 mark, here's 5,500 mark, and I've set my pointer in between those two marks at, there would be 5.1 and there would be 5.2. So now I've got this set, so I'm burning 5,200 pounds per hour. And let's say that I flew for 30 minutes. Okay. So now I look in my inner scale for 30. Here is the number 30 right here. And then the outer scale would be how much fuel I burned. So you can see it's right near, here's 25. So that means this number would be 26. So it's just over 2,600 pounds for 30 minutes of flying, which makes sense because I said we were burning 5,200 pounds per hour. So if I look opposite the 30 minutes, I can see, oh yes, it was 2,600 and maybe 20. Always round up for fuel calculations. And so that is how I can get how much fuel I burned. Let's do another one. Let's do a smaller aircraft. So let's say we're burning more like 3,500 pounds per hour. I can set my rate pointer at 35. And let's say that I flew for, I don't know, let's say I flew a long time, like 180 minutes at 35 pounds an hour, okay? So again, we look in the inner scale and we find, 180 minutes, that is 3 hours, that would make sense, okay? And I can then read opposite there and I say, oh wow, 10 or 11, okay, 0, okay, and then I'm halfway between the two, so it's like 105, okay. So how much pounds if I went 3,500 pounds an hour for 3 hours? Well, I can read opposite and say, okay, that would be about 10,500 pounds, which makes sense. If it was only 171 minutes, it would be 10,000 pounds of fuel, but that makes sense because it's 3,500 pounds an hour for like 3 hours. And if I just use a calculator, I could do that math using a plain old calculator here. So 3,500 pounds times 3 hours, and I get 10,500, which is exactly what I got from my metal flight computer. So check out my other videos about how to use the wind side of this thing for doing aircraft dispatch calculations with the high-speed slide. And I have another one about time and distance and ground speed. So check those out as well. Thanks for watching Aviation 101 with Laura.